Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So you may have noticed if you've watched some of my other videos, been around, because I've had this channel now for just over a year I think now, which I've not really been uploading as often as I was before, and that's just because I've either not really been loving language learning, I haven't had the time for language learning, life's been busy, life's been stressful, and it's just not been my top priority for the last few months. And then because I've not been language learning, I've not felt the ability to be able to film any videos. So I am hoping that I am pretty much back now, and hopefully I'm going to be uploading regularly again, because I now have time and I feel like I'm ready to get back into language learning like properly, or like having like plenty of time to do so. So one of the problems that's come along with not making videos or not having time to learn a language is I feel like I've fallen quite far back on where I was before and have lost a lot of the progress that I've made in the last year, which can feel like pretty rubbish, because you feel like you've wasted all of this progress that you've made, but it's what it is. I have to move on, and now I'm back and trying to get back on track with my learning. So I thought today what I would do is talk about what I'm going to be doing to try and get back on track with language learning. So first of all, what I think I'm going to try and do for the next week or so is try and figure out whereabouts I'm at. So I've obviously forgotten a fair bit of what I've been learning before. I can't remember everything that I'd been learning, so I'm going to try and figure out where I'm at. So for Korean, specifically, it's just like an example of what I'm doing. On Talk to Me in Korean, there is a quiz you can do, and it will place you where they think you're at. So I think either tomorrow or this weekend I'm probably going to do that test to figure out where I'm at. So I know how far back I need to track before starting to really like sink into learning again. So I'm going to do that with the with Korean and Chinese. I haven't fallen off as much with Chinese. I've done more Chinese recently than I have Korean, so Korean's the one that I've really let go. So the first thing I want to do is figure out what my new starting point is, because obviously I have lost a fair bit of progress that I've made. The second and third thing, these two things kind of go well together, is I don't plan on going straight back into learning like hours every single evening straight away. That wasn't sustainable before, and it's still not sustainable now, and definitely when I haven't been studying for a while. So my plan is to ease myself back in, so just doing like 15 minutes every day, or maybe like half an hour like a few times a week, something that I can actually stick to, because yeah, I don't have the time still, and I want it to be something that I can stick to so that I don't fall off again, and hopefully don't have another long big break again. So I want to ease, and especially at the beginning I want to like ease myself in to learning again. Alongside of that, I want to create like a plan. So I'm going to decide how often I'm going to study and how long that's going to be for, whether it's going to be vocab, whether it's going to be grammar, so I have like a plan that I can stick to, so that I know what I'm doing every day, and it's not like, oh, I might do this, I might do that. I know exactly what I'm going to be learning on that. And on top of like what I'll be learning and how often I'll be learning, I also want to decide how I'll be learning. So for Korean, I really like Talk to Me in Korean, How to Study Korean, Memrise, and Lingodeer. I like using all those different resources, so I want to also decide, right, on this day I'm going to use this, on that day I'm going to use that, so that it's all planned out, so I don't have to think on the day of what I'm going to do, I just do it. Another thing that I want to try and do is give myself some goals, something to work towards and stick to. So originally I wanted to take the topic, that is something that I still in the future will really like to do, but for the moment I don't think it's going to be feasible that I'm going to be able to kind of get to that point. So I want to make some goals, but instead of thinking, right, I want to be at level 5 or whatever it is in Korean, I want to take the topic 2, whatever it is, I need to figure out some more manageable and smaller goals I'll be able to do for the next year, rather than anything crazy, because I find that I give myself some big goal and it becomes very unattainable, and then instead of like making small progress, I don't make any progress because I'm not going to make the big progress, if that makes sense. So I want to try and make some small goals so that they're achievable for the end of this year and then next year too. Another thing I want to do as well is expand and use different things than I was using before. So with some languages I like to use apps, so if you've seen some of my other videos you'll know that for Italian I literally just use Duolingo, and I really like that, and it works really well for me for the amount I'm wanting to learn. For Korean I have taken much more of like a new do lessons, so I do a lot of Talk to Me Korean lessons, a lot of How to Study Korean lessons, but not really much, not saying that the lessons aren't fun, but like not anything that's like interactive. That's probably a better word, an interactive sort of learning experience. So I want to try and use Lingodeer more often this time, just to try and make it more fun. Maybe see if I can find other ways of learning, so like using TV shows, podcasts, things like that. So if anybody has any good podcast to use for learning Korean, or any programs that they recommend, I'd love to know, so I could try and use those alongside of it, because I want to make it as sustainable as possible this time when I'm trying to learn. So I really want to expand my exposure to the language so I can get more of a grasp. The final thing is I want to try and feel good about like the little bits of progress I made. So sometimes it can feel like I'm not, or I'm sure other people are the same, you don't feel like you're making a lot of progress, and it can kind of get you a bit down because you don't feel like you've made anything and you've spent all this time on it. So I really want to try my best to be happy and focus on the little bits of improvements I've made, and celebrate any kind of progress I've made rather than like big chunks of progress, just to try and keep me more motivated, and then maybe also like treat myself to things along the way too. I am a sucker for good stationery. I love like loads of my coloured pens to use, so I want to try and keep it like as fun as possible. I'm not saying that language learning isn't fun, but just to keep it as motivating as possible. So yeah, they're like the things I'm going to try and do to keep myself on track as much as possible this time. I'm sure I'll fall off again at some point, but hopefully not as big of a fall off. So I thought I'd just come on and talk to you about where I've been, like how I've just not been making videos because I've not been really language learning that much, but hopefully I am now back and language learning again. So I would love to know if you've ever fallen off and how you managed to get yourself back into the swing of learning a language. If you have any tips, that would be great. So hopefully the next few weeks you'll see some more videos. But thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.